A blessed afternoon, Madam Chair Lady. Thank you, SG. Minister of Finance, your support staff for your presentation, other members of Parliament, and my fellow colleagues, those in the Tribune, and those listening through all the social media platforms. Madam Chair Lady, I'd like to make a couple comments. One comment will be concerning the lottery booths. I've heard many make comments about what was happening, but I am somewhat disappointed in the fact that all the information is in the ministry, and literally I'm starting to feel that the minister is being set up in one way or the other by not being provided with all the proper information that the minister herself could have been able to just bring that information to the floor of Parliament, and everyone would be able to understand what is and what has taken place. I'd like to make some clarifications. The first thing was that the lottery license automatically came with the possibility to be able to put booths or vending locations. Madam Chair Lady, the problem is when these lotteries are being sold at supermarkets where kids and minors have access to. So scratch cards is one of the things that also falls under the lottery company. So that is definitely something that the minister could look into, because that should not take place. There is already a moratorium on locations in the sense that a lottery company needs to request this at the ministry to be, and once it's approved, then they'll be able to open a new lottery booth. And this has not taken place because we are seeing them still pop up all over. Again, the next point would be the point that we are losing revenue when we're talking about the lottery games that are being sold on the island that are illegal. So those that are paying for the lottery games that are being drafted here, they are doing right, but we're losing a lot of money in the others. Madam Chair Lady, if you want to tackle the problem with the lottery booths, I don't think the problem is a lottery booth. I think the problem is that our locals have become addicted to gambling because the availability of number booths and casinos. So what I would say is, let's find ways to start taxing the winnings and be able to put these monies into the rehabilitation of our people. And that would make a lot more sense to me. Madam Chair Lady, another idea would be, we have a problem with the excessive use of alcohol here on the island. Let's find a way to start taxing the sales of alcohol and allocating these funds to the rehabilitation on our island. Madam Chair Lady, we're building a beautiful center, a hospital. Just now the question will be, where are we going to get monies to run a hospital of this magnitude? Let's start taxing tobacco. Once we have that in place, we then can allocate this to a specific budget post that will go to our cancer center. Let's start taxing sugar products and allocate this to a diabetes center. These are all things, Madam Chair Lady. Let's start taxing prostitution. Send these monies to the Minister of Versailles' budget for helping single mothers, because the fathers out on the road roaming at night. Madam Chair Lady, who don't like these ideas, I think will definitely understand that maybe they themselves have a problem with alcohol, tobacco, sugar, gambling, or prostitution. But this is something definitely that we should be able to move on. Madam Chair Lady, this is a budget meeting, so I'm shooting some ideas out to the government so they can see that there's a lot of things that we can do that will generate funds and benefit the country and its people. Personalized number plates. Doesn't matter what you charge me for a number plate. If I could have a number plate with my last name, I would love it. Then, Madam Chair Lady, while sitting here this morning, I've received, again, numerous messages from people in the neighborhood in St. Peter's with, again, the same problem with garbage. Even though I've asked the Minister of Rami to look into it, I don't know what actually took place, and if he did, but the problem is still there, and it's there again, now even worse. Madam Chair Lady, there's a model in NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, that says away from pain towards pleasure. And the model explains that everyone wants good or wants to feel good. So when I hear what is happening and how people are feeling in the country, and the response from the government, I wonder, where are we going and what are we planning to do to help our people? My fellow MP and leader of the United People's Party, MP Otley, expounded a lot on it, but we have a problem, Madam Chair Lady. We have a problem in the country. Our people are suffering. It is not just out of the blue, one decides to get up and become a thief and decide that he wants to go and rob in Phillipsburg. He starts to weigh what are the pros and the cons of doing this. Madam Chair Lady, if you don't have a job and you don't see a way out, these are the things you turn to. And this is a problem. At some point, we need to start to look at not only the effect, but the cause of what is driving our youths, our young men, to steal, to kill. The frustration that one believes that the only way out is by shooting another individual. We have a problem as a country. We are going in the wrong direction. Madam Chair Lady, I am going to say this, and it's a famous saying, no one feels the heat until they themselves are in the kitchen. And you will have to find yourself without water and electricity to be able to understand the problem that people are having today with GB. And I'm more than sure that none of us here have that problem today. So it's a problem that we are hearing about, but not one that we are experiencing. I am begging the government to please pay attention. We are about to purchase 3 new generators that could burn different fuels, one being LNG. And my question is, why are we even purchasing these generators if we have no plan on being able to have these generators run on LNG? Where are we going? We are losing cargo ships because we don't have the facility to supply. And it will be within short, Madam Chair Lady, when our cruise ships will find it so expensive because of the carbon that it's being released to even come to St. Martin. Madam Chair, through you to the Minister of Finance, do you have an idea how much revenue we are missing out on by not having the ships being able to plug in to our shores here on St. Martin? How much monies and what can be done with these monies? Let's not even talk about the environmental aspect. When these ships are here, if you sit in the government building, you see the ships and you see the black smoke coming out. Madam Chair Lady, food for thought. And as my previous colleague mentioned, Madam Chair Lady, during the weekend, I think it was in the Friday and Saturday newspaper, there was an article concerning the William Alexander School. And everyone can remember I've mentioned this school numerous times here on the floor of Parliament, and still nothing is happening. Still nothing is happening. It is impossible, Madam Chair Lady, that teachers have to take from their miserable salaries to purchase copybooks, papers, ink. For the school. This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. As a government, we expect better, and I know we can do better. Let's just plan properly, get the list from the schools, what is needed, and let's put it down. We have monies for all kinds of things. We could have cut some of those monies and put it towards this. It's called planning for a brighter future for our kids. One more comment, Madam Chair Lady. Last week, the St. Martin Academy, PSVE, changed its name, and it's now the St. Martin Academy Business Center. And it is a school where I taught for numerous years, and they're asking to be the first to be able to give the TKL level in English, and this will require some money. Money for a legislative lawyer, money for translation, but it will be the first of its kind here on the island, and I am asking the government to pay attention to that, and I know it will have the support, at least from the Prime Minister, because he was there, and make this happen, as it is needed, since English is also an official language here on St. Martin. So, government, you have some work to do, and we're looking forward to seeing the 2025 budget in Parliament to be discussed as soon as possible. Thank you, Madam Chair Lady.
Thank you, MP Cruz. Members of Parliament, there are no other speakers according to the speakers list. I see there's some seemingly consultation going on. And I know that MP Roseberg is coming